asked us if we had questions. I'm going to ask about the timeline as far as what season to ask. Is it always year-end giving time?
It typically seems like
October?
the annual fund does fall to where it's around Thanksgiving or right before, and I think that works out well. People, do tend to be more apt to give more, like Rob said, for year ends.
If you already have events and you're asking the same people for money, you're going back to the same people. I don't know if anybody finds that to be a challenge where you're asking the same people over and over.
I think that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
call it reloading.
Okay.
Yeah, but now, and let me flip over to I had forgotten you still. Let me flip over to campaign for a second, because this is one thing we've learned too, is when you've got an annual fund going on or whatever, and you're in a campaign, it's so hard to get in front of people. It's so hard to get that meeting. You have like 7 or 8 exchanges where you finally can figure out, oh, we're gonna meet with you, tell you about the campaign. So sometimes we'll do, everything at once. We'll be asking for their annual gift. We'll be asking for their capital pledge. And sometimes we even ask for a legacy gift, because that time is valuable. So, if we're in a campaign and your annual fund usually is in the fall or whatever, we'll still include an ask and say, if you want to make it in the fall, that's fine, but we want to make sure that capital is above and beyond your annual fund. But you are kind of asking the same people. It's for kind of different things. Annual fund is every year, they know that. Capital campaign comes once ever so often. And then, legacy giving is something that everybody needs to be thinking about at some point. But I would just say don't nickel and dime them. I mean, are you also doing little nickel and dime things too, or not necessarily? You're asking for gifts usually once a year, or more if it's capital. And what else?
It would be our annual Lights of Love tree lighting program, where we're asking people to make a gift in honor or in memory of someone.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time,
I would
we
do
ask
that.
an annual
Mm-hmm.
gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would do
Sure.
that. I would give in memory or in honor of someone, and then give an annual gift.
So
It may
we
split
stopped
it.
doing a formal annual giving campaign and started back doing the Lights of Love program because we didn't want to ask twice at the end of the year. So it just, I don't know, y'all think about that.
This is big at fundraising. Don't be a weenie. Don't be bodacious.
How do you think of your donors? Just letters, any handwritten letters, phone calls?
Letters,
Yeah.
visits, phone calls.
Mm.
All the
Within
above.
48 hours, hopefully you send something out.
Been a recent change, yes.
We addressing that, or it's been addressed?
Good.
I addressed that last week.
Do you segment your donors as how much they give as to how you think them?
Yes,
Sort of. Okay. Do you get phone calls or it's from,
for our head of school, if
Okay.
they've given a certain amount.
Mm.
Yeah, that or the board chair or something is usually a good strategy to do that. And then, sometimes it can be a good many and you break it up, but I think it's a good idea to do that. I think it matters. Yeah, thanking and stewarding donors is very, very important, because if you don't, there's other organizations out there that they may be giving to or thinking about giving to that's thank them. And if they have an issue where they can't give to everybody that they want to give to, they're going to cut you out quicker than they cut anybody else out. So, thanking them and thanking them well. Your stewardship report or your annual report that you send out, list your donors. Let them know what their money has accomplished that year. In some cases, you can call them and tell them what specifically. They may have a designated gift or whatever, and you just want to make sure that they know that, yes, it was used for what you asked for it to be used for, and this is how it has affected our mission and supported our calls and our goals. But I would say think. During the year too, I don't know, some people send Christmas cards and things. I've gotten Thanksgiving cards, which is different because they stand out. They don't get lost in the other Christmas cards. Birthday cards, things like that too, just during the year to kind of if you have, and that's a good way to get their birthday too, so you can see if they're good plain giving prospects or, so,
Look at it, American Heart Association, Cancer Society. I mean, you give them one donation, in about 60 days, they're gonna send you another envelope with another labels of mailing labels for you and your wife. And you just feel compelled to put $5 or $10 in because, hey, they just sent you something. And then about 60 days later, they'll send you more. And then by November, you get calendars. This past year, we got 5 calendars from 5 different associations. Those aren't cheap.
yeah.
You've been
Neither are
getting
those dimes that people put in a bunch of dimes.
Throw those out before Janet says it.
That only adds.
We've seen an uptick recently in people giving more to designated causes versus undesignated. And to me, with each passing year, we're seeing a bigger gap in that.
When they're given designated gifts, is it their own agenda or is it some part of your strategic plan?
It's definitely their agenda. It's Johnny plays football, so they want to get the football, or Sally.
But they don't
she's
give
the band.
otherwise.
Right.
So we'll take $500 designated to the band. I mean, it's,
So,
I mean.
That's
I mean,
really common in schools because they want whatever affects their child.
right. So, I've got 2 questions. First is, would you recommend, I think in our minds, the problem is that our undesignated funds are sort of like a black hole. They don't really know what they're giving to, and unfortunately, we don't have this, super sexy story to tell about what the money raised did. It replaced a couple of smart boards, it did this and that, painted a wall, it fixed some toilets,
It
it's
fills
not.
the gap.
It fills the
you know?
gap.
It's
But
hard
people-
sometimes for people to understand that, so you just kind of have to educate them on what that means.
So people, right, and so I'm not sure if we're not educating appropriately or if people are just really finding better value in giving to,
I mean, they'll probably still do that. They'll probably still give to whatever their child's affected by. I mean, truly, but
Well,
I don't think so. I mean, people are gonna, if they're used to giving to the annual fund and they know, okay, this year annual fund's gonna pay for playground, it's gonna pay for whatever for this, so it covers everybody, which is good. Everybody's affected. A capital campaign to raise money for buildings, even pay for debt. I mean, that's hard, but we do that sometimes. That's a whole different thing. So, that's above and beyond the annual fund. But it may be that if your projects that year, affect their child, and we're building a new high school, or maybe a new kindergarten, and their child's in high school, whatever it is, and they know their child won't benefit, they probably may not even give to the capital campaign. Hopefully they will. But hopefully their child had a good experience, and they're still going to give just out of appreciation. But
what are your thoughts on taking a percentage of gifts that are given for, making a gift rule, that says that, policy. If you give to football, that's great, we appreciate that so much. Policy now states 5% of that gift is going to go to annual fund. Y'all ever seen?
I don't know that
anything like that?
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. If I want to give you $1,000 for football, and you tell me 5% of that has to go towards something else, you might not get anything. That's the problem. Theoretically,
Yeah.
it's a good thought, but especially when you start getting into bigger dollars, bigger givers want to tell you exactly what to do with that money.
yeah, and if you've got good leadership, a lot of times people trust, hey, use it for the best need, and that's great. That's the best kind of dollar you can have.
Is it not proper to say, okay, football, you've got an extra 500, now we're gonna balance that line? I'm pulling
Yeah,
500 back for a
honestly.
general, and you're good, deal.
Well, and because our undesignated gifts really benefit
It's going to free up
every
money.
child or every teacher or every program
Yeah.
to some degree.
Right.
But-
So money that was budgeted toward football maybe can be taken back and put in for something else.
Well, I'm sure football would not like
No,
that.
yeah.
They're good.
Keeps coming up, I see, yeah. You're missing it.
They were good when we were there.
They were.
We're on the sideline.
You're gonna get some grumbling doing that,
Yeah.
because we've seen that happen, and that department goes, really? I convinced people that we've got a valuable program they're gonna give dedicated to us, and now you're gonna punish me by taking the same amount of money away from me?
Yeah, it seems like you just, football gets this much of a budget, and band gets this much of a budget, and people contribute to it, and that's less out of your fund that you have to put into their budget. That's not the case.
No. They're given a budget and then,
We don't do the budget.
fundraising is additional, supplemental, yeah, supplemental.
Now, if they're wanting to give to tennis courts because their child plays tennis and you don't have a tennis program and nobody else wants to play tennis, and you're gonna take it, I mean, you know, things like that are a little tricky. You know, people may wanna give to something that's not at all in your strategic plan, or it's maybe the opposite of what you really, the way you're going. So you have to have some policies and procedures in place for annual fund, just like you do county campaigns. Some gift policies and procedures, so you can say, you know, somebody wants to give us this piece of land. Do we want to take it? You know, you think maybe, but maybe not. Maybe it's got a building with asbestos on it, and you need to, it's gonna cost more to get rid of that, I mean, who knows? So make sure you know, you're very clear about what you can accept and what you can't. And if you have to blame it on our policies and procedures, then do that. What else about annual fund? Do you send out your annual reports, or does everybody do that?
We don't mail them anymore, we just do an online version to
Okay.
save on costs. To be honest.
Have you had any complaints about that, or do you think that that's
I'm
acceptable?
sure there are complaints, you know, because people want to see their name, and they're not reaching, excuse me, you're not reaching everybody that you typically would reach, especially your older population. So, and they're the ones that probably want to see their name.
Another thing I would say about your annual fund is evaluate it every year, just kind of like we're talking about the phone-a-thon or whatever, what's working, what's not. How much what was our cost to raise $1 this year? You know, give yourself some true evaluation about how you went about it, results, and what you could do different next year. Sometimes people just do the same thing because that's the way they've always done it. How to write direct mail that works. You might can tell us too.
Stephanie.
The main thing I want to say is make it different than anything they get in the mail. Make it stand out. You want to appeal to their heart. You want to appeal to their head. You want to show the why and the how, and you know why we're doing this, how we're going to get there, and what we expect of them too. You know, how can you help and how can you make this work? Make sure that there's you know, letters from board member or volunteer or donors, whatever it needs to be in your direct mail pieces. And again, don't make them too flashy. Make them just flashy enough. Flashy is probably not even the right word. Make them pretty. It's a lot of content, but it's also a lot of the aesthetics of it too. So, and if you've been doing the same thing every year and it's going great, good for you. Change up the stories, but keep doing it. If you need to change the time of year you send it, or do multiple ones, or add a you know, mail out versus a hard copy. Make sure you've got the information on your website.